Alright, so I'm gonna make a response video to Geek Psychology's RPG metaphor journal, which, by the way, is a genius idea, and I can't even express to you how helpful and how much this is gonna fit into what I was already doing. Like for instance, I've been trying to figure out a way to, express some of the visualizations I've had and interact with people, and I've even started trying to go play D&D and stuff with people. And what ends up happening is my character ends up being someone that is wanting to get a lot of stuff done, and other people are kind of setting up the game intentionally just to have fun, so the characters are kind of just messing around. Plus, it's not even so much the players themselves, but it's usually a DM I run into a conflict with, because the whole idea is usually my character's like a self-taught guy, and that's just wanting to complete the objectives. He's wanting to level up as soon as possible, not deal with a whole lot of dialogue. Plus, I'm not that great at communicating, because there isn't that medium there, which I feel like this supplies very well. Alright, so... Alright, so... Yep, so for each of the functions, what I visualize when I'm thinking of them is, okay, for the enemy, or the monster, is it's like a giant rock golem, and so the way the functions are approaching this, first I think of TI. Well, really, first I think of FE, because that's the problem per se that I'm trying to solve. But yeah, I'm gonna go in order of starting with the TI. So the TI is this wizard guy that's just sitting on a hill watching the calamity that the rock golem's either just kind of moving slowly or being antagonized by the other functions, and then causing havoc. And he's just watching this, and he's he's got his little pipe or something he's smoking on. He's I've already beaten this golem so bad that or so long ago that it doesn't even know it's beaten yet, and I'm just kind of waiting on it to go away, or it to realize it's already been beaten. And I'll just say that the FE, though, it's this little pipsqueak that's at the foot of the golem, that's it thinks it's yelling. It's probably I don't know, what's a small, a sprite, or a little, really tiny creature, not quite, it's not a fairy, but, it's like a gnome or something, but it's a really small gnome that's it thinks it's yelling, and but really the golem can't even hear anything that it's saying, and it's not acknowledging it at all. And then the NE would be basically what he's doing. He's just some little trickster guy that's he's opening a little portal in the ground, and he's just acting like a mole or a weasel, or whatever, that's goes under the golem and then pops up and is yoo-hoo, is it goes back under the like thing, and just like it's just basically, you know, messing with the golem, like kind of distracting it, like causing it to like kind of you know, follow it and pay attention to it. And then the introverted sensing is like this like really like tired guy that's like, you know, I'm going to get you. It's not quite old, but he's just like a guy that's like really worn out, that's like, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna take you down, and like, you know, just kind of like limping over to it, and then like he like punches it, and it like, he feels it, but like it's only like enough for the golem to even like barely, like it's basically like just enough to annoy the golem. And then the NI is, you know, as far as like, you know, blasting like those spells, you know, as like the ranger, you know, kind of the sorcerer, whatever, it's kind of going like toe to toe with the golem. It's like, you know, the golem can kind of spot out, and it's also, it's really like a sorceress, but it's different than the FI that's, well, the FI is a male, but he is connected to the female that would be like my other half. And by the way, her, well, I'll get to that in a second. But like the, you know, the sorceress or whatever, like, or I guess technically it's could be like either gender or whatever, but like, you know, is like, you know, the golem can spot them out and like kind of tell where they're going, even though they're like, you know, slipping around, and kind of like, you know, land a hit, but then, you know, she, you know, responds with like some type of like blast or whatever, and, you know, it kind of, you know, it's like, you know, they're both, and he's kind of like stunned by that, you know, they're both like hitting each other hard enough to do something, but it looks like it's going to be this like never-ending battle of just like back and forth, or you can't ever tell like who's ahead. And then the yeah, the FI, it's really some dude that's like detached from the whole battle just off to the side, which that's next to a portal that opens. It's coming from, you know, Raven, which would be the you know, my other half, whatever, that shows up, and she's just kind of, she could annihilate the shit out of this golem, like, and she's kind of just irritated that I'm still even having to worry about it. And then she just kind of pops back in the portal. So the FI is just kind of just like not even in the fight, because it's aware of how petty, or not how petty, but like how easy this should actually be for me, basically. But then, and then the, like, the SE is like some flash dude, but he's like moving so fast that he's like ineffectual in the battle. Like he's everywhere, all over the place, to the point where he doesn't actually interact with anything. Like, and then the one I'm leaving out is TE, right? Like, I guess I kind of pictured it as if like the golem probably is TE, but if I were to have to picture an aspect of myself, Yeah, it's kind of like, it's the whole situation in the first place. Or like if I were to try to like communicate to the golem, it's like, it is the situation. Like if I communicate to him, then it's something different that he ends up doing that is, what is being translated here in the first place, basically. So yeah, and then as far as analyzing what like functions I'm using and like which ones I could be using more of, I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm asking, because like from my perspective, it just seems like something that for some reason I can't really have. It's that wizard dude that's sitting up on the hill just like kind of waiting. Yeah, the wizard and Raven are both just kind of waiting. But it's the development of my other functions that, like, they're still needing training. So I guess the situation's kind of like, when you're playing Pokemon and you throw out the weak Pokemon, just so they can get the XP or whatever, and then like you switch, but really like the stronger, level 100s could like kill this thing in one move or whatever. I guess that's kind of the in my psyche, that's kind of the view of it. And then because like in situations when I'm trying to communicate my point of view, like the FE can't get any work because the TI is so strong. Like I can't work on expressions and how I say something, because when I actually say what I'm trying to say, people don't like it because the truth conflicts with what they want to believe. I guess that's kind of like the, NI battling the, TE rock golem. It's like, it's just this, conflict. If, whenever I express my view or other people express their view, then it's just this, battle that wages, like, and I guess another example of like what actually ended up happening in like the D&D games. For instance, like I was trying to play, which one friend of mine really follows the alignments and stuff like that, and the other friend, like one friend is a 3. Which one is it? Was it 3B or something like that? 3A or whatever era, and 3E, whatever it's called, I forget. And the other character, 5th edition. Okay, so 3rd edition. Yeah, okay. They're like a 3rd edition player, and I have a friend that's a 5th edition player that is advising me that, and he's an ENTJ, Capricorn rising. So he, if anyone knew about a rock golem, no, but yeah. So no, but he advised me to not even get too attached to the alignments themselves, and not let that affect my role playing. But I like it because it helps me build up, like get an idea of the like character and their backstory. Or, you know, like usually the decisions like my character would naturally make falls into, you know, that one alignment, which is neutral good. And I do kind of feel like that's what my alignment would be in real life. Maybe that's a mistake I made by, you know, making a character that followed my own, you know, made it too much like me, therefore making it, opening up the possibility for it being really personal or whatever. Not being aware of the dynamic of how easy your character can die versus how hard it is for the character to die. If that makes any sense. Like, you know, because you're thrown in with at level 1 against enemies that, well, you don't have to be, but that's what's happening to help, like, with me getting a feel for how to play it and other people how to play it. And to also enjoy, well, with the 3E player, you know, get a feel, he's wanting to set it up that way so that you'll appreciate when you get to the 5th level. But yeah, how you're pitted up against these enemies that can pretty much kill you without really trying that hard. Like, you know, the weakest of enemies can kill you. But how there's kind of sympathy made, because you just made that character, then they'll also make it hard. You know, they'll, you know, give you chances, plus you're with a party, so then there will be ways for them to save you and stuff like that. Anyway, so basically my character went in dungeon, like, with my character had dark vision because they're an Astroborn. That's the race, which is a homebrew, but I felt like it fit with me as a person. And then, so I figured it'd be, you know, easy to roleplay it. And he's a monk, so, you know, things coming up with that of the monk's supposed to have the mentality to run straight into stuff, but I notice as a player that when I run straight into stuff, you know, all my health is gone from stuff that I didn't even expect, and so it seems like the monk would have the common sense to, like, back out of it. And the 5th edition player says that you know, oh, and the 3rd edition player is also an ISTP Scorpio Rising, by the way, or you know, a Type 8 Wing 9, I believe, and yeah, the ENTJ friend is a 1 Wing 9. So, anyway, yeah, so, you know, the 3rd edition player saying that my character really should be running straight into the stuff anyway, basically, but I kind of left his character that doesn't have dark vision in the cave with a hobgoblin running in. And I guess that's because I figured, you know, if I'm in a cave, then I would only go into a cave with someone that had the common sense to leave when something that we don't know how strong it is can probably kill us in one move. But, and then also he said, as I was, like, backing away from the match, that, you know, I don't care, or not, I don't care, but, you know, something to the effect of, I'm gonna stay and, you know, get all this XP. So, I mean, that should reinforce that. But anyway, yeah, so that, and then there was another scenario where, but the problem is, you know, I didn't communicate, that's what I was doing. So, you know, communication is clearly that weakness. And then, But then, you know, sneak was an ability that my character would have had and was on the character sheet because of his backstory being that he snuck onto different like grounds and taught himself. Anyway, then there was another scenario later where my character was trying to basically step away from the fight in order to be able to tie up the enemies, and the other people in the party like went to instantly killing it. And as a neutral good character, when you're in a pinch, it says that you only trust yourself, and you know, you also, you know, he's wanting to do good, so he's not wanting to jump straight to killing stuff. They're like chaotic neutrals, so they, you know, are really random. And yeah, just conflicted both times. But the format of this, I feel like, makes it easier in a way for me to express like the different stuff that's on my mind. So that's much appreciated, and thank you for your opinion on this. And yep. Thank you.